Rinpoche continues to give his explanation of the third book of the great treatise in the stage of the path to enlightenment, stressing over and over the importance of realizing that emptiness does not mean non-existent. All things are conventionally existent. Emptiness is conventionally existent. Let's do the Duchaduk lesson. Duchaduk Nipa. Duchaduk Nipa. Nipa. Ngatsu des le yene mambo yo mare. Ngatsu the ewa lapson. Nge sample the yene moa yo mare. That's cool. Yeah, ngatsu ewa je ngatsu lason dene de dindini omare. Okay, so everyone who wishes to follow along, we are on page 150. 155 was where we're going to begin today. We went a little tiny bit further than that last time, but we're just going to go begin with the divisions again. As far as I know, at this point, things can change, but okay.
What does not Lari then calculated word?
Then a Rinpoche, the Chiran Jipu Sun Lanji Rimba, the Sansang Moa La, Chiran Moa La Ronang.
Yeah.
Good to
Oh, yeah, that's true what the Savage Lodge.
Okay.
That larger about Chibu Chungu larger about Chibun Dink larger about Chibu Shimbi larger in Bus. Sorry, that Chibu Chungu larger about the Makuchung shooting the Chondo. What the Latin Chibu Chungu Casa Dendro had on me, 10 on 2 ya.
To check.
That Chibun Dink larger Habasung, the shooting Jilaba, Tinga de Jilaba, Shella Jilabasung, the Latin and the Dajum go to ya. Chibu Shimbi larger Shachu sent on Hinji Chamber the Shindu. What the Latin Sanji go on to Yag, do what and the Imare.
Less so. So if we were to divide all of Lord Buddha's teachings into categories, we could divide them into 3 categories. And as a note, that is what the contents of the great treatise on the stages of the path to enlightenment is. This summary of all of Lord Buddha's teachings into 3 categories. So if we were to divide them into 3, they are called the teachings for beings of 3 capacities. So beginning with the first, the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. This is for a practitioner who wishes to achieve a higher realm rebirth. So, in dependence upon going for refuge to the 3 jewels of the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, and engaging in ethics which abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities, he or she is able to achieve higher realm rebirth. So these are the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. The next level of teaching is called the teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity. And this is for a practitioner who wishes to achieve rebirth, who wishes to end rebirth and achieve his or her own individual nirvana, a state of foe destroyer. This practitioner engages in the 3 highest higher trainings, the highest higher training in ethics, highest higher training in concentration, and the highest higher training in wisdom. And in dependence upon these 3 highest higher trainings, he or she is able to achieve the state of foe destroyer of the lesser vehicle. The next category is called the teaching for beings of great capacity. These teachings are for practitioners who wish to achieve complete Buddhahood. So this practitioner engages in the already mentioned teachings and practices and then couples them with the generation of the mind that aspires to enlightenment and then the practice of the 6 perfections. In dependence upon these practices, this practitioner is able to achieve complete Buddhahood. So this is how we would divide all of Lord Buddha's teachings into 3 categories. Teachings for beings of 3 capacities. Decent.
tata tuisung ke naja wote yoares malwa.
So then we see that we have a life now, and this life came from a previous life. And in the future, we will have a future life that we will go to. So this deserves explanation, that this life came from a previous life, and our future lives will be from this life. So this life will then be moved to or go to future lives.
Wata nga zo kashi ki jiwa ngama mesigen yoares, shema da ngama mesigen yoares. Jiwa ngama yuebi jusen mongu yoares. Jusen kari yoares, anda nga zo le iji sheba nduwas, sheba de sheba ngama la tene shungu yoare. Di ngama la tene shungu ne tuma me bares. Shijen sama ki jiwa la tuma me bares.
So there are those that state that there are no previous lives, no future lives. But we have many reasons to show the existence of future and previous lives. So for instance, right now we have consciousness. This consciousness came from a previous moment's consciousness that came from a previous consciousness. And when we track it in that fashion, we don't find a beginning. So we state that there is a beginningless consciousness. So then this beginningless consciousness has interacted with these beginningless lives. Diso.
What the Sukangalo Jong Hamin Lesabin Rebures. Dandaya, and then I saw Jusu Abdugina, and the Maobana, Ponsun Soba, Haman Lava Yungores.
Punsu Sopa, Chala Yapo, Punsu Sopa.
Then the Lulonge or Tama Ponsun Soba Yungores.
Punsu, enjoyments, okay. Details, okay. As you all know, I'm trying to create a lexicon that's actually accurate. So I'm really trying to work with all of the Tibetan words and try to change this horrible lexicon that we currently use that is very difficult and loaded in terms of the words. So all of the details, all of the good details of our life, enjoyments and good details of our life, come from the Yanjer Suranang Rinpoche, the Ponsu Sopa, the Gewa Le, the Yanjer Suranang.
That not Mazendel is a Ponsun Soba Roa. Karsokore. Karina Tajil Ponsun Soba Radio. Tandaya and what G Karsokore, Gawat and Druba Ina, and Joa Tro Mabula, what the Ponsun Soba Yungures.
So now we have these good details, enjoyments that we possess, and then that have arisen from previous virtue that we created. So if we wish to in the future have these good details around us, or these Rinpoche was saying a good body, a human birth, good things that we possess, and so forth. If we wish to have these details in the future, then it's necessary for us to create these same circumstances by way of virtue. Diso.
Sunji menu badan, Semen to Maruta, Gobe, Sunji menu badan, Mejiwa, Yemen Tane, Gobe, and Sunji menu badan, Mabu Yemen Soji, Meji Ka, Goba, Neji to Moroma, Tembo, Tambune, and Zula Subi, Chundada, Tuen Lula. 越南美，这样没这学校了，说吧，学校了，说比国内最近都觉得呢，但可能你了觉得日本党，他都觉得日本学校啊赢了，日本的入数级呢，入数级这把。 Zobane Kuja Mandube Dengun so Tayu Jumedo, Gede Dada, Rebe Jimazuna, Rebe Kebi Yoba, Teta Tenhana. Dene Rebe Zumazu Tan, Rebe Nobani Jido, Chuan De. Dendra Mabushi Nare, Dini Jubi Rebe, Gume, Venjan, Jiwasu, Medo She Mawane, Boju Yimbe, Kuja, Mendodo, Rebe, Jizu Medu, Jidune, Tekonani la Jubi, Rebe Maneba Yin la, Teyan, Jijabin Rebale, Kujane, Naba Jubane, Rajinji, Tua, Losheba, Ni Yimbi Shiro, Niji Shiro, Shesumba Tar, Zuzula, Jenga La Soba, Rajin Yume, Tua Yino. Tatana, Zula Soba La, Ranki Nguyudruba, Nguyudrubi Jenga Yume, Tewa Yinje, Rebe, Jenga Tang Tua Mino, Tena, Rebe Dela, Tekonani La Juba She Shade, Tekonani to Jenga Su Rumadu, Juba Yimbi Shiro, Tetabi Rebe Rebate, Jeba Tewana, Jewala Soba, Jonzi Jang Manye Bala, Jimazuba She Sala, Rebate Manye Batanji, Keba Meje, Yuna, Rebate Drugubale, De Maduba, Keba Yino, Zula Subi, Jenga Najan, and Tanya Shebe, Druba Yinje, Tada Jang, Rishiji Maruba, Rishiji Marube, De Manyabi, Tada, Jeta Kete, Buna, Migi Shibi Dramanye Jang, De Makeba Jino, Tena Jenga La Soba, Ranki Ngui Druba, Ranki Ngui Druba, Tekona Druna, Rebate, Nia Gude, Rebate, Zula Soba, Ranki Ngui Drubi, Jenga Yume Tsujinto, Juba Yimbi Shiro, Tetabu De, Chewasu Manyeba, Ranki Ngui Druba, Tekona Drubi Shiro, Pena, Shashuso, Bombayeba, Nyeba, Ngaba Tsuken, Je, Shadow Bomba, Tse Manye Na, Te Shana, Bombayeba, Keba Yinje, Bombayeba Tan, De, Jetake, Te Jinto, Ne Rangi, Tenyi Drubi, Jewa Yuna, Ngaba, Nyebi, Omabi Rebe, Tena, Jewa Manyeba, Te Rajinji, Rajina, Rangi Ngui Drubi, Jewa Keba Yinje, Jewa Tan, Jetake, Tata Yang Jijabin Rebale, Ti Sher Dar Rebe, Jeba Na, Ombutan Yudan, Nabar Sheba Nam, Nala, Yubi, Ngu, Mebe, Rangi Ngui, Druba Medo, Kete Dena, Rangi Ngui Druba, Juna, Tene, Tite, Tebe Naba Jeba, Jeba Na. Sawa, Chetar Nebi, Rangi Ngui Druba, Nido, Meban Juna, Meban Maide, Tisher, Ne Rajinji, Tongo Sheshawa, Drobo, she son sauce, over the college, you know.
Okay. So we are on page 155, where we're going to see the 4 categories. I just want to line this up so when I'm done reading, I know exactly where I am. So just bear with me one moment, everyone. I need like elevator music. So it's around 6:08. Okay. Showing that the Madhyamaka critique does not eradicate conventional existence. This has 4 parts. You cannot eradicate conventional phenomena by refuting them through investigating whether they are capable of withstanding rational analysis. You cannot eradicate conventional phenomena by refuting them through investigating whether valid cognition establishes them. You cannot eradicate conventional phenomena by refuting them through investigating whether they are produced in one of 4 alternative ways, from self, other, both, or neither. A refutation of all 4 parts of this tetralemma, things exist, things do not exist, and so forth, is not a legitimate critique of conventional phenomena. A. You cannot eradicate conventional phenomena by refuting them through investigating whether they are capable of withstanding rational analysis. A proper analysis of whether these phenomena, forms and such, exist or are produced is an objective sense is what we call a line of reasoning that analyzes reality, or a line of reasoning that analyzes the final status of being. Since we Madhyamikas do not assert that the production of forms and such can withstand analysis by such reasoning, our position avoids the fallacy that there are truly existent things. Question: if these things cannot withstand rational I need better glasses now. Old. Rational analysis, then how is it possible for something to exist when reason has refuted it? Reply: you are mistakenly conflating the inability to withstand rational analysis with invalidation by reason. Many who have made this error claim that production and such exist even though rational analysis of reality refutes them. This is reckless chatter, so we do not agree. To ask whether something can withstand rational analysis is to ask whether it is found by a line of reasoning that analyzes reality. Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas says, because our analysis is intent upon seeking intrinsic nature. So this is seeking to discover whether forms and so forth have an intrinsic nature that is produced, ceases, and so forth. Thus, the analysis searches to see whether forms and so forth have production and cessation that exist essentially. It is not that this line of reasoning searches for mere production and cessation. Therefore, this line of reasoning is said to analyze reality because it analyzes whether production, cessation, and so forth are established in reality. When such a line of reasoning analyzes or searches for production and so forth, it does not find a trace of them. They are unable to withstand analysis. However, the fact that this line of reasoning does not find them does not entail that it refutes them. Rather, refutes something that, if it did exist, would have to be established by reason, but which reason does not establish. Conventional consciousness establish the production and cessation of forms and such. Although forms and such exist, reasoning consciousness do not establish them. Therefore, while reason does not find forms and such, how could it refute them? For example, a visual consciousness does not find sounds, but this does not refute them. This is similar. Therefore, production, cessation, and so forth existed essentially, were established in reality, then reason would have to find them because it accurately analyzes whether forms and such have essentially existent production and cessation. Since such analysis does not find production and so forth, it refutes production, cessation, and so forth that exist essentially, that is, in reality. For if it existed essentially, that analysis would have to find them, but it does not. For example, when a searcher who is certain to find a pot in the east, if it is there, searches in the east for a pot and does not find it, this refutes the existence of a pot in the east. Yet, how could it refute the mere existence of a pot? Similarly, Madhyamaka analysis is certain to find essentially existent production if it exists. When it does not find production, this constitutes a refutation of intrinsically or essentially existent production. How could it refute mere production? In this vein, Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas is clear. Just as a translator's note, for anyone who's new, because we've been going over this again and again, conventional intrinsic existence is different than, and essential existence is different than conventional existence. So something can exist and conventionally exist and not intrinsically exist. So just to make that clear for anyone new, this is not refuting existence. It's refuting the way we think things exist, the incorrect way we look at them existing, not their existence. Let me read. Similarly, Madhyamaka analysis is certain to find essentially existent production if such exists. When it does not find production, this constitutes a refutation of intrinsically or essentially existent production. How could it refute mere production? In this vein, Chandrakirti's commentary on the 400 stanzas is clear. So mere production is not refuted. So it shows that that conventional existence is not refuted. Therefore, so we find Chandrakirti's commentary on Aryadeva's 400 stanzas is clear. Therefore, when reason analyzes in this way, there is no essential nature that exists in the sensory faculties, objects, or consciousnesses. Hence, they have no essential existence. If they essentially existed, then under analysis by reason, their status as essentially existent would be seen even more clearly, but it is not. Therefore, they are established as empty of intrinsic nature. Chandrakirti repeatedly allows that these conventionalities, such as forms and sounds, do exist. However, they are not in the least established by reasoning that analyzes reality, that is, analyzes whether they have intrinsic nature. Thus, the scrutiny of reason is not applied to them. Also, Chandrakirti often says that it is those who are incompetent at positing conventionalities who claim that conventionalities are destroyed when, upon rational analysis, reason does not find them. Okay, Digsung Rinpoche. 608.
Zodra la soba, riba. Zodra la soba, kundu do yobanda nam, yodu chudan. Takuna nila chuba raji yeme, chubi rebe, ten manrube, tadala rebe, cheba manjuko she, lume de yang songshin, rebe cheba she ne, reba de, manye na, kundu ba tada jiba la kundu juba mekhe ba she mato somba yino kede rajin yeme jibe rebe tada ne gaba nuna zodan choala soba kundu ba tada rebe gaba shindo ne jo goba ina tendawa ne lumende de jonle na ba tanje do gabe na rajin yeme joba ne rajin yeme jobe rebe manebe tön rebe ne ba tön ba ne omi chule chichir chamba ino dejin do pabe nyaja gejan zola soba jenga ziba yin je jenga la soba meba ziba kala yin rangin yeme chebe rebe jang jewa la soba manye ba yin je jewa la soba meba jewa meno di shir rebe je mezo ba na rebe neba nyi dang pabi nyaja ki yeshe je jenga ma ziba dang meba ziba nyi dang rangin yeme chebi rishi je jenga manye ba dang jenga meba nyeba nyi la ma shiba ji do zongwan de dada nam 따지면데 뭐지 개방 가르랑 네 초바진 하유 네 로드도 내가 나지 시도 줄라 다다 제 셰바 제시 다다나 고자네 전담비 유진지 처말에 타녀비 셰바 타녀비 셰바나 또 저와나 만예비 셰베 전담비 네 유진지 처말라 너바 마이노 왜자 더코나니라 쥐비제비 타녀비 조솔라 소바라 제네 대만이나 리바데 다다기 케바 너나네 대 팔라 마케바 마제 대다랑 보켈라 지데 다비 세메 너바이데 오만주발레 게티 쳬라 지데면나 최던 지데는 쳬지는 신도된다기 템바샤 셰송비셔 대한디 제발레 고자네 지데지 군두 도바 샤이셔 신도 태저와 나반주지 최지 아니 지데지 군두 수지 게데 지데지 나반주나 대장 내장 최라 또 다바샤오 지데데 너방이데 셰송비셔로 고자는 지데지 군두 도비셔도 신도 세체와 내세바는 메기 나바셰발라 수비 유진 추바다 조달라 수비 추바 추남 dana jambi shado landon bebe la seyu tada rebe ne gaja mende ba yinje langombe gaja sheba wo chöji jidenji kundu söji jesu ne oma be jewa de gona ngeja chöji kundu rebe gogo she godri shebala ko jewa ge rajin goba nubatar chöji kundu rebe go nuna kujan chöla choshawo sheba te dene rebe kena de dobi shedo ne lang gombe mekeba teno mekeba maze kana jidenji trabe no do she sombe tenda reba tanala ne tanyebe shebe nebe dadale to chawang doba yino tena ngobomawa 나제 장 레베 제바 주네 시르지 되라 소비 군두나 까바나 레바데 메네바 이제 케바 마이노 카지 조수 타녀도 몽고비 드나들라 소비 지데바 랑가이 ngor Maguba Inje, Teniji Jubi, Rebe Goba Mawa. Shido Metete Tedela Tokolani Jubi Rebe Go Menu Shedan. Teniji Jubi Rebe Guna Gabate Tanyendo Gobishero Kalevil.
Tataye. Chun, chew good.
Mogubo.
Okay. Great. Okay. If reasoning that analyzes whether they have intrinsic nature could refute them, so 157, that's where we left off, right? Just making sure. I'm looking at the Tibetan and going back and forth. I get lost sometimes. So if I'm in the wrong spot, please tell me. I know I'm not, though, this time. If reasoning that analyzes whether they have intrinsic nature could refute them, then you would have to apply intense rational scrutiny to these conventionalities, i.e. forms, feelings, and so forth. However, the text of this master completely refutes such efforts. Therefore, it is those who have wandered very far from the middle way who claim that something is invalidated when it is not found by reasoning that analyzes whether it has intrinsic nature. Similarly, the meditative equipoise of a noble being does not see the production and cessation of forms and so forth, and how could it cease production, cessation, and so forth as non-existent? Also, reasoning that analyzes whether things have intrinsic nature, not find production and so forth, but it does not consider production, cessation, and so forth to be non-existent. Therefore, even some earlier scholars, not to mention those today, seem to have erred by not differentiating and instead considering identical the following pairs: something unable to withstand rational analysis, something invalidated by reasoning, the non-perception of production and cessation by a noble being's wisdom of meditative equipoise versus the perception of production and cessation as non-existent by a noble being's wisdom of meditative equipoise, and the non-discovery of production and the cessation by a reasoning consciousness which analyzes whether they intrinsically exist versus the discovery that production and cessation are non-existent. Therefore, the intelligent should analyze this in detail and make careful distinctions. In saying this, we do not assert that conventional consciousness is more powerful than knowledge of the ultimate, nor do we assert that conventional consciousness contradicts knowledge of the ultimate. However, you claim that rational analysis of reality refutes conventional forms, feelings, and so forth when it analyzes them and does not find them. It does not refute them. In fact, mundane knowledge will contradict any attempt to refute conventional phenomena. Chandrakirti's commentary on the Middle Way says, if you think that the world does not contradict you, then refute something that is based right in the world. You and the world can argue about it, and afterwards I will follow the stronger party. Chandrakirti's explanation of the Middle Way commentary says, we have endured great hardship in order to overturn worldly conventionalities. Please, you eliminate worldly conventionalities. If the world does not contradict you, then we will join you. However, the world does contradict you. The statement, you have endured great hardship in order to overturn worldly conventionalities, refers to striving at the path in order to purify mistaken subjects as visual consciousness and mistaken appearance of objects such as forms. Hence, we do not assert that these are objects that are refuted by reason. Rather, we consider them objects that are negated by the cultivation of the path. Statement, please, you eliminate the worldly conventionalities. Answer those Chittamantrans who draw the following parallel. If you Madhyamakas refute substantially existent dependent entities, then we will use reason to refute your conventionalities. Chandrakirti replies, we can refute the intrinsic existence of dependent entities. If you can use reason to give a similar refutation of conventionalities, then we will go along with you. He means that if reason could refute conventionalities, we would want that. As it would render unnecessary the hardships involved in cultivating the path in order to overcome them. Therefore, the passage shows that reason does not refute conventionalities. Since it does not refute them, Chandrakirti says that it is what completely known in the world contradicts any attempt to refute them. Hence, conventional knowledge contradicts any apparently reasonable argument to the effect. We therefore assert that conventional knowledge is more powerful than those arguments. Consequently, when essentialists use rational analysis to refute conventional phenomena such as external objects, reason does not find those conventional phenomena, but it does not contradict them. Objection. When we say that we do not refute forms and so forth in conventional terms, we mean that they are not refuted in the eyes of the ordinary worldly people, such as shepherds. However, rational analysis of reality does refute them. Reply. Your position is quite unacceptable. reflective individuals may wonder whether rational analysis of reality refutes these, yet they never doubt that such things remain unrefuted for those whose minds have not been affected by tenets. Moreover, if rational analysis of reality did refute them, then that refutation would have to be done in conventional terms. The Master Chandrakirti also clearly states that rational analysis of reality does not refute all forms of production. Digsun Rinpoche.
Da kunzu do denpa ni do to kunzu denpa do denpas. Kunzu denpa se karsana ane nga ote ane zula sobi chwetu to ngalo kunzu denpa res. Do denpa sana ane toni le segres. Toni de karsana pena nga so nga sa jin duas. Nga de ane nga sa kan de yoare de nga de dajo chubala tune ane nga sa na phata ba so ma to chubala ma to ba ane rat rubi nga ji yo mares. ane nga so nga sa jin duas nga de one kande jure nga so jogu to se laba yin jogu to am duas. Ne chubala tune nga sa ta ba so to yores. Ta ba to kunzu to yobas. Odelichi segres.
So now at this section we're talking about conventional truth and ultimate truth. So what are these two? Conventional truth are all the things that we apprehend, forms and so forth. Ultimate truth refers to emptiness or the nature of reality. So for instance, the ultimate truth of the I is that the I is empty because it is merely a collection coming together that serves as a basis of designation for the I. But there is no I that inherently exists that is separate from that collection that serves as a basis of designation. So that is the I's emptiness. That is the ultimate truth of the I, or of the self. Diso. Okay, so we're going to start the question and answer now. Rinpoche has some company, and yeah, so that's what we're doing today. So we'll just end there for today. 10. Rinpoche, the Charan the Sik Tamagare. Hold on one sec. I just want to make sure of something here. I have some doubt. Tamagare. The Tama? Okay, so I was right. I get scared that I missed a whole page for some reason. I just had like a moment. Okay, we're good. I think I still might have, but... 6:10. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's good. Wait. Where did I just read to? I'm sorry. Where did I just read to?
159, you're going to start at 6:11.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I'll stop now. Okay, we're good. Anyone have any questions? And again, just remember, just... Get on the mic. Get on. No. I'm telling you, we need some... Oh, we need wireless. Then you could go all over the place while you're asking your question, you know? Make up a new dance. Get viral. Go viral.
I just had a question about karma. Two things. One, how do beings in the lower realms, or specifically like the animal realm, how do they change their karma? Like, how are they... there's a question the other week about antidotes to negative karma. Like, how would an animal who is only acting within its intrinsic nature, even if it's a lion killing the cubs of another pride, or, you know, something that we would think of as, you know, a killing or a negative action, but it's really inherent just to their nature at that point in their existence. Like, how are they kind of producing these antidotes that cause them to have a karmic result of an animal, a lower realm? Like, how are they working through that or producing positive karma at that stage?
Okay. Rinpoche, the dendru ki dan shime. the konso the sanlo yapo dang mare, konso sem yapio mare. Dene the konso the gewa kandre sa, jewa shema the yapo dro kandre, gangin sena the senge, the jinju mambo segdu. Dene the konso le ducha le mige the konso jinju den sunsan kom migewa le yure. Dene the kandre je the gangin sena the tanda konso ki chikshena. Dene the chikshena jewa shema the medro chikshena hladro kandre gangin sena konso gewa sa kalikabudu.
What they could live the Momo Yoris in a Joa Toma Mavan Sasha, go on second did yours.
That's so.
What change the trail do, gain you what the sin, Yaja Metal Haljones.
Less so. So yes, it's true that they have large amounts of misdeeds within their continuum, and misdeeds are causing their experience at that current moment. But they also, since beginningless time, have not only created misdeeds, but there's also virtuous deeds as well. So within that continuum, there's virtuous karma and non-virtuous karma. So when the causes and conditions, whatever they may be, create some sort of connection to a previous karma within that being's continuum, in this case you're saying an animal's continuum, then the virtuous seeds give rise to a different experience, if you will. So this is how they could then be an animal. Some sort of conditions that connect in some way, give rise to this virtuous seed that then propels them into a happy existence. If it, and the same can also be true for receiving another from going to the lower realm. As a translator's note, the same can be true for an animal. An animal can go lower still to a hungry ghost realm and then born into a hell realm, which makes it even more difficult to create virtue in those realms because of the amount of torturous distraction. So there's even a worse place in terms of ability at that time to create the karma. But our experience is being led around by beginningless actions that we've kind of planted in this consciousness that we have, that whenever, who knows what, because Buddha said emptiness is not anywhere near as difficult as karma to understand. Whenever whatever cause and conditions link up, then my experience can change. I just witnessed it myself. I was going along and everything was normal. Then my experience just drastically changed. But I wasn't acting in a way to create some drastic change to my experience. So it's the same exact thing. Same way that the animal can get out is the same way that I just had a awful drastic change, which might turn out to be great, but just using my experience to try to explain it in some way. Okay, so let me just make sure. So that was everything that Rinpoche said, and then my commentary, which Rinpoche has told me to do, as everyone knows. But I'm insecure about it, so I keep repeating that I've been told to do this. Okay.
Can I just follow that up with a question then about the higher realms?
Yes.
So if we are producing this karma to get into these higher realms, these demigod and god realms, and yet we talk about the Buddha coming through this kind of human form to when he achieved enlightenment. I know there's some debate about the Tibetan and other traditions in terms of him achieving enlightenment in the human form in that realm. Is there isn't there then some kind of stage of wisdom that associates with the higher realms? So it's not just merit and wisdom, right? So to achieve these higher realms, they karmically had to have produced enough positive karma to achieve the higher realms. And isn't that then the stepping stone to Buddhahood and omniscience? So is it like a path that, that people are
Oh, is it
literally...
like let me just see if this. Are you saying like is it human? Then you go to demi, then the gods, and you're going up in stages like that?
Almost,
No,
because
but I'll
from a wisdom perspective,
like
aren't
God
they
doesn't
both?
necessarily have any more wisdom than a human.
Okay, so that's kind of part of my question. Like,
But
aren't they both?
I'll still
merit
ask
and
Rinpoche
wisdom?
that for you, though.
Yeah.
But it's just the God. Just because one's a god doesn't mean that they have more wisdom than a human. God doesn't equal wisdom in this tradition. You're thinking maybe
Right.
in terms.
Yeah, but isn't
Rinpoche, look, the Kontriwa, the Nyawa Yida Dendru me Lama Yila, the Genza Dan Drapudu, Dene Shanchu, the Genza Yomarbe, Korlo. Yene the Kongi Tsampa Tambo Nyawa, Dene Yida, Dene Dendru, Dene Me, Dene Lama Yin, Dene Hla, Dene Shanchu. Dene. So it isn't that it isn't stages in that fashion. So he said it's not like that. So for instance, we use Milarepa. Milarepa was a human and achieved Buddhahood in that lifetime as a human. So in order to achieve Buddhahood, you have to have the entire collection of wisdom. So that means that as a human, he had the complete collection of wisdom if he was able to achieve Buddhahood. You know what I mean?
I guess, so what's the motivation
So it's
for the
why
higher
it's called
realms?
the cycle of
Yeah.
existence, because it's a circle without any kind of, until you're out of it, it's a circle. You know what I mean? I asked Rinpoche if it was in any way that you would go from almost like stairs. I said,
Yeah.
where you would go up the stairs, where you would go from the hell to the hungry ghost to the animal, then a human, and then demigod, then a god, and then somehow you would go onward. Now, it could happen in that order, but it's not necessarily how it happens. But it's not impossible that could be the last 6 lives a being has, but it's not necessary. You know what I mean?
I have a question on beginningless time.
Sure.
Past, present, and future is contained within beginningless time.
Just past.
Just the past. The
Mm.
present is not in beginningless time, and the future is not in
Well,
beginningless time.
the past, the present would be where you start from to posit beginningless time. You would go back from the present.
Okay. Because beginningless time, there's no beginning and no end. Is that
That
correct?
would. Now, I'm not
No,
saying
that-
endless time. I'm
Oh.
saying beginningless time.
Beginningless.
Time without
I see.
beginning. A
Beginningless.
time without beginning.
Okay. I guess I'm misconstrued of the beginningless.
The
That-
English
that-
word.
that-
It's always an
yeah.
English word thing, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in this
and-
context, it means. So in the context of birth, this birth was from a previous birth, from a previous birth, from a previous birth, from a previous birth.
Okay.
Or this life from a previous life, from a previous life.
All right.
When you look at it in that way, you can never find something that's non-life logically that creates life. So you have to always say that it's created by a previous life. You can't find logically a beginning when you analyze it in that fashion without introducing something that is non-life creating it. And that's how then other traditions would say creator God, and that explains it. But Buddhism says that's not logical.
Okay. The other question kind of connects with that, but it's the Buddha nature
Sure.
that's already present in us.
Yes.
So you don't really you don't achieve Buddha nature. You can't achieve it. It's already there.
Everyone
It's
has it.
So you have to recognize it. Is that the way?
No, that it's
Because to achieve
no, that's-
something is saying it's not there.
no,
and
it's
you're
more.
gonna achieve it.
How about we call it? What if I named it Buddha potential? Would that
Okay.
change your feeling of way that means? Buddha potential.
Okay.
Everyone has Buddha potential.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying
That's
it.
really what it is. It means that the ingredients that we have in us right now are the same ingredients that the Buddha had in him or her
Okay.
before he or she became enlightened.
All right.
So we have this mental consciousness that can be converted.
Okay.
Just like the Buddha had a mental consciousness that could be converted from impure into pure. The Rinpoche, kongi chiwa, the sanje rik, the tanda, the ngatsu, the senchen kanga sanje ri yu, then kon sampa, the ngatsu nangla sanje yurbe, then a ngatsu hako gamare, then a sanyi, ngatsu nga sanje yin, gutsogare, the kakare.
어떤 세계 그 넘버 가실 요아레스 네 세계 다지 주로 사지 요아레스
Less so.
라케 버버 넘버 요아레스 레드 네 세계 다지 주로 사지 요서 요 마레스
Less so.
사지 리 요아레스
Less so.
레드 요스나 안는 가슬레 이제 셔반도와
Less so.
이 셔바드 데마 마루바로
Less so.
네 데마 마루바 인도 네 텐데 인도 데마 마루바레스 어디 이 셔바다 이 셔바 데마 마루바니데 사지 리레스
Less so.
telha tene ne jenju jere tene trogo don longo do yongores ranji neri la tene trogo don longo ju ngoni ko da
Chuku.
trogo do yongores
Then is Sheba, the Lonko Truku, then Sheba Demba Madrupa, the Chuku.
ore yes
Okay. So there are some Tibetans, Tibetan, Rinpoche just said Tibetans, and I think he means teachers, followers. There are those Tibetans who have misconstrued this idea that will say that we have Buddha, and that somehow inside of us there's this Buddha just waiting to come out we don't know is there. But that's just a misunderstanding of this term of all sentient beings having Buddha. The meaning of this is really the Buddha's lineage, the lineage of the Buddha, which means the potential of that the Buddha had. So what is that potential? What do we have in common with the being that wasn't a Buddha that became a Buddha? What do we have in common? Why do we have that same potential? First, it's the mental consciousness itself, and the mental consciousness is that which can be converted. So it's the potential that can be, we're looking for the best word for this currently, but this potential that can be converted or changed. So this mental consciousness that we possess is the first type of potential. The second potential is the lack of true establishment or the emptiness of the mental consciousness that we have. And this is the natural potential, the abiding potential. So when we look at what these two types of potentials create, the emptiness potential, they say, gives rise to the Dharma body, the natural wisdom. So the Dharma body, give me a moment on this, and the mental consciousness potential, the potential that is mental consciousness gives rise to the enjoyment body and the emanation body. So this is how these interact with the eventual realization of Buddhahood, and these are what the potential's talking about. We have this potential because we have a mental consciousness. This mental consciousness can be converted into a pure mental consciousness. So remember, we were going through this. We were trying to find the best word for this. It's like this convertible. That which can be converted, meaning converted from impure to pure. And then there is this natural consciousness that is not truly established, that is empty. And so these are the two things that we have that in common with Shakyamuni, say, as a case of example. Does that clarify it?
That's very clear. Thank you.
Awesome. Selpo do segdu.
야,
Wouldn't it be great though if you could wake up and be like, there it is, there he is, hi there.
Not quite sure what my question is, but so what's the? We aspire to be bodhisattvas, to return to come back to this precious human life, so that we can
We're willing to do
work
that.
for the benefit of all beings.
Yes.
So differentiate that with Buddhahood. I mean, we put off. Do we put off?
No.
Aspiring. Okay,
So you want to know? I know where you're going, because I know the text where you're saying that the bodhisattva prays to be born again and again.
Right.
So it seems like the bodhisattva wants to delay his or her enlightenment.
That's the teaching, I thought.
It's the willingness to be able to endure that, to be able to become a Buddha. When you see those references, it means that so a couple categories. There's the actual bodhicitta. There's aspiring bodhicitta and engaged bodhicitta. If one doesn't have bodhicitta yet, is that what you mean? Like I don't have bodhicitta, so I'm not a bodhisattva, but I want to be. So that's not a form of bodhicitta yet. That's just still a practitioner who wishes,
Aspires.
just like the debate of are you a Mahayanist or not. I want to be a Mahayanist, but the door into the Mahayanist is bodhicitta. I'm not a bodhisattva, so I'm practicing the Mahayana. I want to be a Mahayanist. So it's similar to that. So once someone achieves bodhicitta, then he or she becomes a bodhisattva. At that point in time, that bodhisattva is willing to do anything to become enlightened, and has this wish to help all sentient beings. But the ultimate way that he or she can help all sentient beings is to be a Buddha. So it wouldn't make sense for them to delay it. It's necessary to accumulate a certain amount of merit in order to become a Buddha. So, you know what I'm saying? The Bodhisattva is saying, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. The Buddha created merit over 3 countless eons after achieving the mind bodhicitta. When you look at the story of the Buddha achieved bodhicitta, then took 3 countless eons. I know, countless, 3 long time. Remember, we decided that just means a long. Countless, when they say that, just means a long time. So for a long time,
3 long times.
3 long times, 3 really long times, and then achieved Buddhahood. So the delay wasn't on purpose. The delay might have been necessary for them to achieve merit, and the Bodhisattva is saying, if that's necessary, I'm willing to do it. The Rinpoche, the Shanchu Semba, the Dopa, the Nga, the Jewa, Yanjer Jewa, Garishene, Nga Semchen Rinpoche Gu. Then Ngeng Yelwa dro, Nge Yida dro, Nge Dindru dro, the Gariana Kasakala Nge Drogian, Semchen Rinpoche Gore. Yine, the Khensur, the Sanjay Jupu Drongo, Jupo. Shanchu Semba De. Khensur Shanchu Semba De Shag, then Semchen Rinpoche Gu, the Shanchu Semba Nge Jupo Sanjay Gu. Gariana.
산제기나 대전에 로버지야 너바치야 요르.
Less so.
샹주세만 너바 총거래스.
Less so.
대인 소상 어디 샹주세만게 산제 고문녀도 토비 네 투사고야 주센터레스.
Less so. So it's necessary for the bodhisattva to accumulate enough of the merit, enough of the accumulations in order to become a Buddha. He or she recognizes this and is willing to do whatever is necessary during that period, but also recognizes that the Buddha has much more ability than the bodhisattva. So they wish to become a Buddha as quickly as possible, but recognize that that doesn't just happen, and there are obstacles that they have to go through in terms of gaining merit, gaining enough collection in order to make that happen. So in order to fulfill their wish to help all sentient beings, they know they have to be a Buddha. So staying a bodhisattva and just helping sentient beings, they're handicapped because they're not omniscient, whereas a Buddha is omniscient.
But it's a path,
Which is that?
being a
The bodhisattva.
Yeah.
Yes. Depending, there's different. There's the 5 Mahayana paths that begin with one becoming a bodhisattva, getting bodhicitta at the path of accumulation. But then there's the bodhisattva paths or grounds that don't occur until the path of seeing of the Mahayana path. So it just depends on what kind of paths you're talking about, and so forth. But yeah. So the bodhisattva has to go through. A bodhisattva hasn't necessarily seen emptiness. A bodhisattva hasn't even necessarily achieved engaged bodhicitta, necessarily. They aren't necessarily practicing the 6 perfections yet. So that happens when they take the bodhisattva vow and become engaged bodhisattva. They're practicing it, but actually practicing it is when they're engaged bodhisattvas. So there's so many different, meaning there's just a lot of different levels within it. And it's all for the point of getting rid of these obstacles that are coarse and then become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and then subtler and subtler and subtler to the point where it's like the smallest of the smallest subtlety is removed, and then there's Buddhahood. No more learning and Buddhahood. Less so. Less so. Less so. So we see the Kangjur and Tanjur right behind me, and to be able to understand and study the contents of the entire Kangjur and Tanjur, 213 Indian commentaries and 100 Tibetan texts that are very difficult to understand even a paragraph of, wouldn't be realistic. So it'd be very difficult to understand all of these books using these books. But if we study the teachings for beings of 3 capacities, the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity, the teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity, the teachings for being of great capacity, we're studying the entire contents of all of those texts. Okay.
Good morning. If I'm understanding correctly, that all beings are empty.
Nadru Dalai.
If all beings are empty of essence, if I understand that correctly, then what is it that is carried forward in a rebirth?
The semchen tamche tomba ni dene jewa shema gari drogudu. Konsarpa. So when I say emptiness, I don't mean that they don't exist. So when I use this word emptiness, it doesn't mean that non-existence. So we have what is I. Kali Kaling, we have what is the I. So there's this I that is merely a designation on top of some aggregates or parts, 5 aggregates that come together that serve as a basis of designation for this I to be placed. But there isn't an I that's findable outside of this process that's the naming on this collection of some sort. So the I itself is conventional existence, but the coming together, this collection in the nominal designation and its emptiness is its ultimate truth, is the I's ultimate truth. Then jewa shema gari drogudu. Gare sheba. So then at the time of the ngatsu shegudu, then sheba kaba drogudu bardo. So then when we die, so we have consciousness and we are alive right now and we have these aggregates and parts. When we die, what carries on is the I is still fixed or designated to consciousness. The consciousness carries forth to the intermediate state and then forward to the next life. So it is the consciousness that still is named as I, because it still has a collection that serves as a basis of designation for I. So it's still can be called I. It's suitable to be called I, and that I carries forth from this life to the intermediate state and so forth. And then, as a translator's note, as we go through this series, the I is designated on different bases of designation. So when I die, the intermediate state, I generally take the form of what my next life will be. That can change up to 7 times in the intermediate state, but generally speaking, I would take the form on that I was going to be born as. So then that basis of designation serves, that collection then serves as a basis of designation for the I, but it's no longer Jeff. So the Jeff's gone. It's just the I that Jeff used to cling to, or called I. So then that I is affixed to a different collection, and then maybe it's a dog. Probably, I love dogs. I have a lot of dogs. I see it coming. So then that'd probably my best bet. But then, then 2 dogs, say in the animal realm, 2 animals get together, a mother and father animal, and then there's conception, and then there is the consciousness then is in the womb of a dog. Then the I is affixed to that. So there's always a basis of designation for the I. There's continuity, and there's never a break in that continuity. And that's why Buddhism says beginningless, because there's never this break in continuity that we can find to say, oh, there it is. There's just always this continuity of designation and basis of designation and so forth. So then the dog is born, and there's a collection of parts that are named as this dog, and then the owner names it something, and then it's suitable to be named as that, and then you see this dog is Fido. But really it's just a name, and all this stuff has just been affixed as it went on at various levels of designation. Does that make sense? I think I went a little further than necessary, but I usually do. Last question. Rinpoche loves questions, but... No, he said he really does. He loves this part.
I'm just curious about, since you're talking about bodhisattvas, so who are the bodhisattvas teachers? How do they practice? Would a bodhisattva actually do studying of some kind?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And would a Buddha be their teacher? I mean, I'm
Can
just
be.
curious.
That's tricky, but yes and all that.
Okay.
So bodhisattva could be an Arya bodhisattva and in an enjoyment body there. The enjoyment body of the Buddha is said to teach Arya bodhisattvas, but bodhisattvas also appear in many different forms. And Rinpoche, the Shanchu Semba, Kong Gegen Surube. Then yene the Khensur Semche, Khensur Tsolan Lena, Khensur Semche, Khensur Gegen Gugudwe. Then Kong Triwa. Then so the bodhisattva requires a teacher until he or she is a Buddha. I said once the bodhisattva achieves accumulation and bodhicitta and becomes a bodhisattva, do they then still need teacher? And Rinpoche said yes, they still need a teacher until they achieve Buddhahood. Then I said who initially the first part I said who are the teachers, and he said just like this, a teacher and a student. They would be interacting in this very same way in all their previous lives. They would have had interactions with teachers in this same way. Then Khensur Shanchu Semba Lena de Rinpoche Chikshena de Ngatsu Zendra Nala Shanchu Semba Yurube. Chikshena?
Yes, it is.
So it's possible there's a bodhisattva in our class right now attending. But just to make it more difficult, The qualification, you know how there's three bodies of the Buddha, the emanation, the enjoyment, actually two, so emanation, enjoyment, and truth body. The enjoyment body, the qualification is that it is in a pure realm and that it's teaching Arya Bodhisattvas. The Longku Gitseni, the Shanchu Semba, the Becha Chigudu. Rinpoche was I just told him, I said that in the definition of enjoyment body, it says they are teaching the Bodhisattvas, and he said yes.
Thank you.
So yes, Buddhas are teaching the Bodhisattvas, and yes, the Bodhisattvas are receiving teachings from just ordinary means as well. And other Bodhisattvas. Shanchu Semba, Becha Trigadue. Yes. Are we done? Concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. And thank you, everybody. Great questions. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun, and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I've collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drakpa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri and likewise Samantabhadra as well. Whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the three times, I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara, Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts, the exceptional wisdom and perseverance, Suji Rinpoche Gutsi Shapi Denonang, Atsu Lamrim Chenmo Kanga Chironang,